My friends, we are living in very, very dark times. You see, there all manner of evil is abounding. It's living very strong inside the hearts and minds of people. You see, and the way of God, which is Jesus Christ, is looked down upon in by most Christians. They trust in the world. You see, the only way to change this world is not by voting and fighting and going to politicians and trying to legislate something, or picking up arms and fighting and being vengeant and fierce on people. No. The way to change this world, my friends, is by you yourself being transformed by the Spirit of God. And then this transformation will shine out through you to the lost and to the false Christians, those who say they follow Jesus but they don't. You see, and what's happening is that more and more people are seeing the hypocrisy in what the people who call themselves Christians, and it makes them even more angry. And more, it turns them away even further, because why would they want to be like that when they can just be cold? Why would they want to be lukewarm? You see, so we ourselves have to be transformed, because the time of a time of severe retribution is coming. You see, and people are not. You see, all the opposites of God are exalted: pride, arrogance, fierceness, wrath, hatred. You see, I hear many Christians talking about they hate this religion or that religion, or they hate so and so, and they want to go and pick up arms and do this and do that. You see, you don't do this, my friends. This is not what Jesus Christ would do. Some people trust in their physical bloodlines or their race and these kind of things, and this has got nothing to do with the kingdom of God. You see, the kingdom of God is spirit and not flesh and blood. If you sit down and start trusting in physical things and in flesh and blood, you will fall, my friends, and you will reap what you have sowed. You see, you will die by what you lived by. And that's why it is very important that you know Jesus Christ, because when you know Jesus Christ, then this knowledge of Jesus Christ, which is spiritual and which will live in your heart, will shine out to everybody. See, when you look at people today, they look at you like you're supposed to worship them, but that's what they've been fed. That's what they've been taught, that you are God. You are it. You see, somebody is crossing the road, you stop for them, they look at you like, I didn't ask you to stop for me, you know. And there's no graciousness, no nothing. They are vengeant and full of fierceness. You see, and all of this, a lot of them, they've just bought into it because that's what they've been taught. You see, and so they buy into it. Now Christians are behaving even worse in some cases than this. You see, because anybody can call themselves a Christian so long as they're giving money to a church. You see, and then they can call them, one minute they're using profanity and the next minute they're saying, Jesus is Lord. You know, the next minute they're talking about one abomination after another, and in the same sentence they're bringing Jesus' name. You see, this is what it is, my friends. There's nothing. There's no conscience. They're just using this name and dragging it into just filth and abomination after abomination. See, my friends, violence. People are shooting people and killing people for games. You see, other people are lost in the delusion of knowledge, living in theories. You see, and they debate this and debate that, talk about this. They read about things, but they've never had any personal interactions with those things. You see, if you are led of Jesus Christ, you will meet things face to face. And you will be brought into situations where it becomes real. It's not a joke. If you're reading about using a gun and playing with a gun in a forest somewhere, it's not the same thing as being fired upon. You see? It's not the same thing. There are no rules. You see? It's not a game. It's not a joke. You cannot. People think that they think that they can defend themselves. People don't know what they're fighting against. You're not fighting against flesh and blood, my friends. You're fighting against principalities and powers. And let me tell you something. If you think that a gun or a weapon or something is gonna save you, it's not gonna save you. I'm just telling you right now. There's only one thing that can save you, and that is your relationship with Jesus Christ. You see? And if you want to know Jesus Christ, then you have to change who you are within. You have to allow the Spirit of God to convict you of what is wrong and right. You see? People say, well, what's wrong for you is not wrong for me. You see? But you see, wrong and right for Jesus is not relative. What was wrong yesterday is wrong today. You see? There is no justification of it. See, if you're doing wrong, you cannot justify it. But rather you pray to the Lord and say, Lord, help me. You see, have mercy on me. Help me to come out of this. You see? But you see, what is waxing in the world is violence. You see, murder. These are the things that are exalted. You look at your sports idols, you look at your fighting idols, you look at all these things that people are fed every day. You are it. You see? They show you pictures of gladiators, men with six-pack, women with six-pack. They are bulging with muscles, they look good on the outside. You see? Then they ask you, blah, 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 is it in you? They're making you buy all these things. They make you feel good. You see? They make your flesh feel good. They strengthen your flesh. They reinforce your flesh. You see, my friends, but when you follow Jesus Christ, your flesh is crucified. So everything that you do has to be submitted to the Spirit of God. You see? Then you will be transformed when you begin to become obedient to these kind of things. You see? Today in the world, godliness is looked down on. Most Christians, they don't follow God. They don't follow Jesus Christ whom they say. I met pastors and preachers. On Sunday they are preaching about whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. And on Saturday night they are committing whoredom physically with other women. They are committing whoredom physically with alcohol and drugs and all manner of things. You see? How am I saying this? My friends, I have seen it with my physical eyes. You see? And that's why you cannot figure out these things. You can't read these things and start following, things that what you have to do, my friends, is receive a real transformation. A real one. You see, all these other things where people are telling you, well, you can do this and that and still follow you. You can't. You have to be willing to let go of everything. You see? And that's not easy. Because you want to hold on. Because that is what has been reinforcing you your whole life. You see? Shelter, food, water. And then trusting in a system that provides for that. Whatever that system demands of you, even if it's your soul, then that's what you provide. So you lose your soul, but you will receive the benefits of the system, and you will also receive a gospel that is enslaved to that system. So hey, you can win on every accord, because they will create a gospel for you with all the Bible verses and everything to justify, you see, and give you what you want to hear. That you are going to be everything. We are heads, not tails. We are conquerors, and all this. And then we use carnal understanding to interpret these verses. You see, we are not led by the Spirit of God to realize that we need to have a relationship with Him and be led of Him. My friends, the world is in darkness. It's in chaos. You see? It's in chaos, and people are lost in things. In your own heart, if you look deep down, you know who you are. You see, you know what's going on inside your heart. You know you don't have the capability to stop doing these things. But I tell you one thing, my friend, if you ask Jesus from the depth of your heart, first you need to go there, into that place where you can face who you are, the vampire or the zombie or whatever. And then you say, Lord, look at me. Help me, Lord. Change me. I need your mercy. I need your mercy, Lord. And cry out to Him. This is the way, my friends.